Hello, everybody! It is Thursday, and that means it's a Battlebots pregame show with Macho Go Savage and your co-host, Kristen. We got the wonderful Euro on, and Kristen, it is a big day for the brackets. And Kristen, why don't you remind everyone, who's leading the brackets? Oh, yeah!
Oh, it's me, your queen of knowledge, including surrounding BattleBots. I am in the lead. I plan to keep myself in the lead this week.
Yoro, how are you feeling about your chances getting your hands on the most coveted belt known to VTubers, the Macho Championship Bracket belt?
I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief. I'm probably not winning that belt. I'm looking at my bracket here, and I'm seeing a lot of red and a lot of Mario, no Luigi. So, like...
Oh my gosh.
I took an L, okay? But it's okay. I believe I can at least get, second alternate. There you go. I can get second alternate to the belt.
It is now the second round of the BattleBots bracket. The Sweet 16, if you will. Yeah. Macho will give a very quick recap of what happened last week in the first round. In the left side of the bracket, we have Minotaur and Fusion. Minotaur won that easy, no problem. Malice won against Switchback, who cares? Sawblaze unfortunately won against our sweet little flipper girl, Blip. Cobalt, at the hands of an upset from Monsoon, the biggest upset of the night. The other night, we got Hydra, who kind of dominated Death Roll. We got Whiplash, who overcame Beta. They named the bot Beta. And we got Quantum losing to Ribot, an undefeated bot list, losing to our froggy little boy. Who would have seen it coming? And unfortunately, Euro, I know this is a soft spot for you.
No!
Ripperoni did, in fact, lose to Black Dragon.
No!
But my God, that fight was fucking bonkers. I cannot wait to see what Ripperoni has in store for next year. Are you guys ready to get started? We got a whole 8 fights to talk about. The first matchup, we got the #1 overall seed, Minotaur, over by Macho, and we got Malice over by Kristen. Kristen, how bad is Malice going to lose in this match? Please tell us in excruciating detail.
Oh man, it is gonna be bad. I would be shocked to the high heavens if they showed us this match first, because Minotaur, I mean, Daniel Freitas, he needs his own show. But this is just going to be like a nice warm-up fight for Daniel Freitas, a little palate cleanser, if you will, before going into the Final Four. It's not going to be hard for him at all. There is not a world or a universe where I see Malice even having a fighting chance here. They just suck, man. Like, the forks are bad. The weapon they keep coming out with this year is so bad. They even tried to bring Ray Billings last week, or 2 weeks ago, to help them, and it's not going to help them. They could have every BattleBot god with them, and it's not going to help. Minotaur will destroy.
Listen, as soon as I saw this, I'm like, okay, true. I was looking at this. I look at my bracket. Yeah, I think Minotaur's gonna smash either way, bro. I like Minotaur. I think they're gonna win. I think it's gonna be a hard win. Also, Malice looks kind of like a Home Depot like creation. You know what I mean? So, off of that, and as well as their kind of track record being kind of I'm gonna have to pass it to Minotaur with the swag over there. You already know.
The Jabroni Slayer Minotaur is going against another Jabroni, Malice. While Malice has looked slightly better in this season, Macho has a hard time seeing them pull off the upset here. Minotaur has its horns locked on to the giant nut, and it will not let go until it caresses the giant nut in its hands, and Malice will be nothing but a small little speed bump, a pothole, if you will, in the way of Minotaur getting to that. Just a minor inconvenience. Maybe not even a pothole or speed bump. What's even below that? Maybe like the speed bumps you see in like a grocery store parking lot. Like those speed bumps. The ones that you don't have to slow down at all. And that's what Malice is gonna be. We got 8 fights to talk about. The second fight we're talking about is happening right now. And Macho's gonna tell you about it. It's Sawblaze over by Macho. Yeah, Sawblaze. And Monsoon pulling off the massive upset last week that Macho predicted. Don't look it up. Who's going to win this matchup? And I bet a matchup Sawblaze wasn't seeing on the docket for them. Yeah, what do you think, Kristen?
Yeah, I actually did predict this one correctly. You can check the brackets if you want. Because I did. I called this upset, baby. Monsoon, they looked like a beast in their last fight against Cobalt. But you know who else has looked like a beast all season? Yeah, that's right. It's Jameson Go of Sawblaze. He has been heating up the entire year. Both of these bots, they like to fight aggressively. So I think it's going to be a really fun match to watch. But my money is definitely on Sawblaze. There's just like, they don't really have that many weaknesses in their like armor or body that Monsoon can actually hit. So I think Sawblaze is going to take the dub tonight.
I'm gonna be very real with you. When I was doing this bracket, I was just shifting through everything looking for Ripperoni. I made sure I said, yeah, I'm like, Ripperoni wins every single fight, and that's on baby. And I was very wrong. So when I was looking through everything, because I was just speed running to get to Ripperoni so I could support them very hard, I thought Monsoon had a cool name because I thought of Monsoon from Melgriff Rising. Don't at me. I know you're gonna win this one because you got a cooler name. Cobalt, yeah, it's a cool name, but also Cobalt is name of a element, but also name of a color, which is cobalt blue, but you're not blue, so it's not gonna work. So easy. So yeah, I think Monsoon got this in the bag. TBH.
In a matchup that Macho 100% saw coming. Don't look it up. Monsoon is in this fight after a massive gargantuan upset over arguably one of the tournament favorites, Cole. The matchup, as in any matchup with Sawblaze, will come down to who can win the ground game. Now, up until last week, we thought that Monsoon cannot play the ground game very well. Alas, we were all wrong, because he got right under Cobalt and sent that jabroni sky high. Now, can he replicate that success against Sawblaze? Macho thinks, do you think that an incredibly base team such as Monsoon, who likes Macho's tweets, by the way, Monsoon, I see you, thinks that they can pull off this upset, baby? Monsoon bears a striking resemblance to the bot Uppercut with the gigantic vertical bar spinner. Now, if we remember, Uppercut didn't just beat Sawblaze. It is in the intro to this show with Chris Rose freaking out with Uppercut sending Sawblaze into a huge fiery ball of fire. Monsoon is 100% capable of doing something like that with the oversized large vertical bar spinner. It is designed almost exactly like Uppercut, a bot that almost always beats Sawblaze. So Monsoon can drive upside down very easily. It's going to be very hard for Jameson Go to slow down that bar spinner, and he's not going to want to come down with that overhead weapon because that bar spinner is going to take that sucker clean off. Monsoon is going to keep the run alive here. Let's go, Monsoon! From across the pond, Monsoon with another upset here. Oh, so we got a matchup between, Kristen, I messed this up.
Oh, that's
again,
right.
didn't I?
That's right.
It's, what was this bot's name?
It's like, it's definitely a jabroni.
It ends
that's for
with,
sure.
It starts with, it ends with,
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Kristen, who's gonna win this match and why?
Addy Vasquez, time to come out with your weapon and fight like you could care tonight. Please fight like you care. I need them to win. But you know, what's that I hear? Jake Ewert? I think I hear like a murr. Those are the cows. The cows on the farm calling you home because your win streak in Vegas ends tonight.
Ooh,
it's time for you to head home and put that Uttergun sponsorship to use.
Oh!
Flash is smart enough not to just drive up to Hydra like every other freaking bot has done and get flipped repeatedly. They're gonna make Hydra come to them, and then we'll see that Hydra sucks and Jake can't drive his bot, so he will lose tonight.
Yeah, so funny thing, I got that whole bracket wrong, so I was like, shit, I didn't even, you know what? But I think Whiplash just has the best, like, okay, Whiplash has been taking it brutally, but I think that they have it in them. I love a good underdog. I mean, Hydra's kind of been just mediocre at best, if anything.
Say your own, call them mid. Do it.
Yeah.
Don't be a coward.
They're mid.
Let's go.
I think Whiplash has the capacity to make a comeback and be a little bit of an underdog here. So yeah. I'm going Whiplash. I'm going Whiplash all the way.
In a post-Jabroni apocalypse world that Riptide started a couple months ago, it makes Hydra, you know, is it a normal bot to Macho anymore? Is it it's still a jabroni, but the word jabroni has been completely flipped on its head, Kristen. Macho doesn't know what to make of it. Hydra's matchup with Deathroll, outside of just one insane hit, was lost at the character select stream. It was a 9-1 matchup, if we're honest. Jake did start to do the turret thing, which brings Macho's blood to about the fucking boiling point when the entire rulebook was changed so a bot just can't sit in the middle of the bot. Macho has to calm down a little bit. Unlike Deathroll, Whiplash isn't as big as a dummy to just charge straight into that flipper. They're going to pick their places, probably meaning they're just going to drive away from each other the whole time. This fight might be a slight smidge boring, but each bot has the same idea. They want to get around the sides. And Whiplash has to come in with that vertical disc spinner. I swear to fucking Christ, Whiplash. If you come in with the lifter and no disc, I just gotta take a second. Gotta take a second to recoup. Can he do this? Manny Vasquez is for sure the driver capable, but Whiplash, the bot itself, has shown some vulnerability. It's hard to pick against either of these bots. Psych, it's super easy to pick against Hydra. Hydra sucks. Whiplash is gonna win, and my opinion of Hydra has changed. Macho has reformed. He has seen the light, but he's still a jabroni, and Whiplash is going to win. Please, God, I can't take any more of Hydra winning. All right, now we have a absolutely bonkers matchup between our sweet froggy boy, Redbot, who Macho's gonna give a little kiss, and Black Dragon, I guess, over by Kristen. Kristen, why is Redbot going to win? And tell us.
All right, I'll be honest. This is the one point in my bracket where I got these two wrong. These are the only two that I got wrong. I get to go rogue here, which I like. The rest of them I've had to stick with my picks because obviously they're right. This one I get to go rogue, and so I had to, sit down and think a little of how Ribot was going to win this fight, which is how I phrased it, I think. Basically, I need the people to continue to have faith in my superior BattleBots knowledge. And we've seen this matchup once before. It was when Black Dragon got a controversial win from the judges while he was on fire. But I think that Ribot is pissed off enough about that they're going to come into this fight, have a really solid strategy, put it to work, and they're going to win the game. We're going with the Froggy Boy. He's overcoming adversity and moving on to the final four.
Ribbit, motherfucker, frog supremacy.
Let's go!
Forever and ever. Like, you cannot deny the little guy his chance to fly, okay? You can't do it. You can't do it. I believe in this little froggy boy. I think he has it in him. I think he can. I know Black Dragon's only been KO'd like once or something, but I believe, you know what? Make it two, bitch. Go ahead. I believe in you, little boy. I believe in you.
In another matchup that very few people got correct in the bracket, with out of the 34 participants in the Macho Bracket BattleBots tournament, 7 people, only 7 of them had Black Dragon over Ripperoni. Rip Ripperoni, God rest his soul. While I would be upset at that outcome of our Pizza Lord losing, that fight was so good that honestly, I can't be that upset. I really can't. It was such a good fight. They barely lost. But I am going to bring up, Macho said, as soon as I saw Ribot in the bracket, I said, watch out for Ribot. Ribot may have had a down year in the regular season, but this bot is a proven winner. And if this bot catches fire, not figuratively catches fire, mind you, watch out, because a locked-in Ribot is damn near unbeatable. Ribot's biggest strength is having a modular weapon system. As you see here, it has a horizontal undercutter spinner, but most likely they will come out with their vertical spinner, which is just as powerful as their horizontal spinner. But Ribot winning its upset victory last week, we have a rematch of Black Dragon and Ribot, which was controversial to say the least, as Kristen likes to bring it up. Last match had Black Dragon winning somehow while in flames the entire match. With Black Dragon's track record of catching on fire, it's honestly just kind of a normal thing that happens now. Who cares? This is a classic matchup of defense versus offense. Ribot with the very powerful weapon, and Black Dragon being just unable to be killed. So who will win this rematch? Well, Black Dragon has proved to be vulnerable this year, with a KO from that nincompoop brony that we will get to soon. We also have to take into account that our Pizza Lord Whipperoni kicked Black Dragon's ass up and down the battle box. That bot was in shambles. Its egg beater was completely screwed up. It was not spinning. They probably have to do a complete rebuild on that weapon. Ribot, on the other hand, got through that fight scot-free. Now, that has to take into account. I know Black Dragon's a solid bot, but that bot is coming in beat up, banged up, while Ribot is pristine as we see here. Now, I am going to say that this is what our froggy boy over by me likes to hear. It is his time to strike. Ribot keeping its run alive by slaying the Black Dragon. Hoo yeah! So we have what bot over by me, Kristen?
Satan. Worse than Satan. Tied.
It doesn't matter what your name is! And Hypershock over by Kristen. Kristen, this is gonna be a rough one. We got a lot riding on this one, don't we?
Yeah. I also had to pick a bathroom break match of the week, and it was so hard. Like, all of these matches are going to be good. So I had to go with this one solely because we don't want to see Ethan. We can give Will Bales our confidence and know that he can do this with us refilling our beverages and etc. Like, this has to be the bathroom break match of the week. But someone on Twitter made a perfect meme for this. And it was Princess Leia saying, "Help us, Hypershock. You're our only hope." So I hope my Star Wars nerds get that. But ain't that the truth? Let's go, Mommy and Daddy Bales. I need them to go in tonight and get everyone that sweet revenge on Riptide that we also desperately want. And if anyone can do it, I think they can. And I have tons of faith in them. I think it's gonna happen. Hypershock is going to win.
I was already, listen, you already know that I'm a big simp for the dashingly handsome, dreamy
Oh yes.
Bales.
Oh
Okay,
yes.
Oh, yeah.
You know that, I have a soft spot, and I will always, I mean, obviously Ripperoni and Ribot are my first love, but, Hypershock is my second. I know Hypershock got us, and also now that I hear the lore about Riptide, I'm like, all right, buddy, okay, all right, buddy. So now I'm Hypershock 1,000%, 1,000,000% even.
Yeah.
With our Lord and Savior Will Bales. So, yeah.
Macho's gonna get really close over here. So now, listen here, Ethan and the Riptide team. Listen here real close. Macho understands that you don't like being portrayed as the villain, yeah. But you could have stopped that apparently the whole controversy last week was you're fooling with your bot to tape on some hammer as a joke. And you know what? That's fine. Listen here, Ethan. If you would have used those 2 brain cells of yours and rubbed them together like your dad rubs your belly when your tummy hurts, you would have just said so in that interview instead of being like, oh, they hate us because they ain't us. No shit, Shatterdig. Shake your hand, you gross Twitter blue subscriber red pill taking nincompoop brony. The whole thing could have been avoided if you weren't such a massive asshole and a big dumb idiot. You know how hard it is to get the entire Battlebots field to hate you? Have you seen who competes at Battlebots? It's basically a bunch of middle-aged dads on a weekend trip. How can you get those type of people to hate you? You have now converted the dads. You have made them so mad, like you changed the thermostat in your house without telling your dad. It just doesn't happen. But you know who is going to save us from this black plague of jabroniness? The ultimate dad. Well, not a dad yet. Maybe more like the really cool uncle who lets you drive his like really sweet like muscle car. Will Bales. That's who he is, the cool uncle. The first round was easy for Riptide, and honestly, Shatter has reverted into a jabroni. Hypershock, on the other hand, is the furthest from a jabroni you can possibly get. Yeah, he is a king with a hot-ass wife. Something that Ethan from Riptide will never have. Ooh, yeah. Will Bells is going to come in to the battle box with a broom. Why? Because he will be sweeping up pieces of Riptide from the battle box. Yeah, Hypershock will be able to get under Riptide and throw it off its nincompoop brony ass game plan. And as for that handshake, Will Bales will come up and shake his hand. But he will go to Ethan and say, hey, good job, Frank. My name isn't Frank.
It doesn't matter what your name
is. Ethan will be so scared that he'll start to shake. He's gonna start to shake. Piss is gonna start rolling down his leg. He's gonna shake more than Elon's space-ass rocket before it exploded. Not knowing what to do, he's going to go over to his bald-ass jabroni dad who's funding this entire team and say, Daddy, they were mean to me. He will say, it's okay, Nathan, but my name isn't Nathan. It doesn't matter what your name is. Ethan will lose so bad that he is going to take the pieces of his robot design that he stole from the Mad Catter team, and you'll have to duct tape them together, just like Boo's Thor at the end of Monsters Inc. And just like the end of Monsters Inc., Macho will be crying. But not tears of sadness, tears of pain. And why would Macho be in pain, you ask? Because Macho's buff, beautiful sides can only take so much unrelenting laughter before they give out. Riptide, instead of being a brat, why don't you riptide these nuts in your mouth and take that butt, tie it in a knot, and turn that sumbitch sideways and stick it straight up. Now, we got Endgame over by Macho and Copperhead over by Kristen. Kristen, who's going to win this match and why?
I know I predicted Endgame to win their fight last week against Tantrum. Okay. It doesn't mean I'm happy about it. Yes, I got it right, but they did not need to hurt our little boy Tantrum the way that they did. And tonight, those Kiwis are going to pay for it. Copperhead is going to come out swinging and immediately knock Endgame off balance, send them flying, maybe make them use their writing mechanism finally. I'm sure Endgame is going to come out with their stupid forks because they always do, but it's not going to matter because Copperhead will just eat those as a little appetizer before they eat Endgame as their full dinner.
I think Endgame, because I looked at this matchup and they both lost to Ripperoni, so it's like the Ripperoni rival. Yeah, they've only had one loss and it's both been against Ripperoni, so I think that's gonna be a pretty exciting match either way. For me, I just went with Endgame because I think sunglasses are cool, even if it's indoors. I'll give them a pass this time. Yeah, I don't know. I think I like their forks. You know, I think you could get a little bit of stabby action with it. You know. Eat it up like a nice steak. So, you know, I went with Endgame, but also since Kristen's pretty good at predicting, now I'm kind of questioning my decision. But I'm going to commit to the bit. I'm going to commit to the bit, and I'm going to commit to the forks and go Endgame.
Another big hitting matchup between Endgame and Copperhead. And this is getting to the part of the bracket where it's very difficult to pick a winner, right? So it's really hard to pick either of these spots lose because, quite frankly, we haven't seen them lose very often. And as a matter of fact, I think both of these spots losses you could count on a single hand. Endgame is a big believer in the long forks. Copperhead, on the other hand, believes in long forks just about as much as Ninja Sanji supports its talent, as in not at all. Even if you got under Copperhead, you are just closer to that drum spinner, and we see what drum spinners do to forks. They eat them like candy, basically. We've seen Minotaur do it, we've seen Copperhead do it. It's just not a thing that works against drum spinners. In a head-to-head matchup, I'm honestly not sure who will win. Head-to-head as in weapon to weapon. I apologize. Now, with these two go weapon to weapon, I feel like it'll be the beginning of God of War Ragnarok when Kratos and Thor are fighting. Their weapons hit together and then they freeze a lightning bolt. So Thor brings down a lightning bolt and then Kratos freezes it, and then there's just like a frozen lightning bolt in the middle of the area. I'm thinking something like that may happen today with just a frozen lightning bolt in the middle of the battle box, and it'll be crazy. But Macho's picked a lot of upsets, and I just think Macho's going with his gut. I just think Copperhead's going to win. I don't think the forks will work against a bot like Copperhead, and that drum spinner does not mess around. And I think that Endgame will struggle without its forks. I honestly may be surprised that they come out with forks. I think they may just go with like the shield. But we shall see, and this was probably the hardest one for Macho to pick, but going with this gut, I think Copperhead's going to win. We got another interesting matchup. We got Witch Doctor over by Macho, and Lockjaw by Kristen. Kristen, who's going to win this matchup and why?
Will I ever get over the selection committee giving Witch Doctor a number 3 seed over 2 undefeated bots? I will probably not. I had to bring it up because, like, if you're listening, selection committee, hire Macho and I. We can do a better job than you. Hopefully tonight, though, I'll feel a little bit better after this match. Because an upset is going to happen, and Lockjaw is going to win this. And again, you can check my bracket because this is what I have. Lockjaw's going to win. Donald Hudson is probably going to come out with their really cool booty wedge that's like meant to absorb the impact from a spinner and kind of like send it back.
Spinners, Kristen. Come on.
No, it can work. It can work for both. It can work for both. I don't know if he's used it against both, but I'm gonna believe it. Don't you worry. He's going to come out with a strategy regardless, and it's going to be good, and he's going to break Witch Doctor. It's going to be a knockout win.
So here's the thing, right? I lost both of these brackets. I did not get either of these right, so I had no clue that this was going to happen. But I will say I have to respect Witch Doctor for committing to the bit, okay? And I know if there's anything a winner can do, a winner has to commit to the bit, and they have to put their entire passion into serving some hot, fiery, what's the word that isn't NSFW? Hot, fiery Battlebots explosive love. Okay, how about that? On in the arena, okay? And I know for a goddamn fact, okay, that if there's anything that Germa, the 985th, has ever taught me,
oh god,
is that if you don't commit to the bit, then why bother? So I think Witch Doctor has the fighting chance here because they just simply commit to the bit so hard that they're gonna win and they're gonna get that giant nut.
Donald Hudson put on a master class of driving in its last fight against Bloodsport. With that being said, Lockjaw took an absolute beating in its last match. I know Donald can turn around as he knows what he's doing, and he's a seasoned, grizzled veteran of the sport. But you can't help but to take that into consideration, as Witch Doctor had probably almost no repairs, and Lockjaw was probably close to a full rebuild. Now, this match will come down to driving, as both bots are pretty similarly designed. They're both very well balanced, four-wheeled vertical spinner bots. So that's gonna come down to driving. And Kristen, when it comes down to driving, there are a few that do it better than Donald Hudson and Lockjaw. Ooh, yeah! I think Lockjaw will be able to get under Witch Doctor, and that will be the difference, because Witch Doctor are jabronis and they don't believe that forks work for some reason. And I think that Lockjaw will get a victory here. This one may be close, though. I think this one will be a back and forth affair. We are going to our last matchup of the Sweet 16. And boys, in a weird one, we got Huge,
Yeah.
who Macho put to scale over here by him. And we got the glorious, awesome Mad Catter and Martin Mason with his community college students. Who, yeah, Kristen, who's gonna win this one and why? This one may be a bit sad to watch.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting matchup. Like, who knows what will happen? I do hate to say it. I think Huge is gonna get the win tonight.
Ugh.
I know, it hurts
It
me.
hurts.
But absolutely nothing against Mad Catter. First off, let's just acknowledge that they are fantastic. But this is just a horrible matchup for literally almost all bots. Huge is just in a league of its own. And when it's working the way that it's been working lately, no one's matched well against them. They're scary. There's nowhere to chomp down on them. Like, I don't know. So I'm sure Amber will be thrilled that big bots will live to fight another day.
Let me explain. Okay, so I put Huge in my bracket that I thought Huge was gonna win. Okay, because Huge sounds like, it reminds me, because I always, whenever I say Hugh Jackman, I say Huge Jackman. So that's what I thought initially. But I love the Mad Catter team, and I love Martin Mason. Come on, but you know what? Okay, a wise white woman in an adult film once told me, it's never Jover until it's Jover. So as much as I think Huge will win this, I'm also rooting for Mad Catter. Okay, so I think Huge will win, but my heart is still in the right place for Mad Catter. So I believe. I'm in the words of like every single like white girl at my school in like 2009, I'm a believer. Okay, so I believe in the power. Okay, I believe in you. Huge may be scary, but it ain't about the size, baby. It's how you use it.
Now, we all know that Macho is a tiny fan of Martin Mason and Mad Catter. Actually, he's a massive fan. We all know that there is no bot more macho east of the Mississippi, south of the North Pole, past Mars than Mad Catter, baby. Mad Catter Madness is upon us and will not be stopped. That being said, Mad Catter has a bad matchup against Huge. In fact, there isn't a single bot that matches up well against Huge. That's kind of the point. Martin Mason and his community college students have something up their beautiful, oiled, rolled up sleeves. Something called the Huge Poon. The idea is to stick the Huge Poon inside of huge holes. Hopefully, doesn't go any farther than that. Amber may need to close her eyes. Now, Martin, Macho loves you. I mean, oh yes. No, I'm not. Macho's not fucking around. They went on the post-game show and they said, Martin Mason said in character, we got us playing for Huge. We got not a harpoon, a huge poon for Huge. And it was awesome. And I think it may have broken Chris Rose's mind. And he almost lost it. Martin, you're on the top of the Macho list. There is a Macho list. In fact, there's only one person on it, and it's you. Martin, Macho loves you. This comes with a heavy heart. We have seen people try to do this to Huge. They come in with something to stick inside of Huge wheels to push it around. It never works. It hasn't worked. Huge is too weird and strange, and will just wrap around and hit you with that bar. Now, if you can't go weapon to weapon with it, which is the only time we've seen Huge lose, when you just square up and hit that sumbitch straight on. You can't win against Huge unless you do that. You can't get all cute with the tactics. Now, Huge is just on a different level this year. And as a professional Battlebots journalist, I'm sorry, Martin Mason. I love you. But I don't see you winning today. I would love to be wrong for the first time ever. I would love to be wrong. but it's gonna take a miracle from the BattleBots gods and a huge Poon and huge all over the BattleBots. Will that happen? I don't think we're gonna see a Poonin, but we are gonna see a crazy match because any match that Huge is in fact crazy. This one is just gonna take into account the Poonin. Huge with the win, and I think Huge has the chance to make it real far in this bracket. I appreciate everyone for coming by. I hope to see you guys tomorrow in my stream. Thank you so much for coming by the BattleBots pregame stream. Thank you so much, Yoro, for joining us. I hope to see you guys in the Discord. It's gonna be a big night for the brackets. I hope to see you guys all there. And have a wonderful and safe but macho night. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
See you all in a minute.
Bye.